Boom. We are live, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the live stream. Different location here. A lot more pretty background than what we had in the last stream. We're here to talk about Bitcoin. We're here to talk about the altcoins and see how rotation is taking place. If there are any tickers in particular that you want to take a look at, leave them in the chat below or to the side, and we will take a look. But before we do that, we got to take a look at the king of all crypto, and that is Bitcoin. So starting things off here, taking a look at Bitcoin, let's take a look at the daily. We had a nice, so we're consolidating at the low of this channel. So I've begun to draw this channel to the downside here, and you can get a better picture of this channel when we're on the 4-hour. We will revisit the 4-hour, but I just want to take a look at how things are doing on the daily. We've come down and we've tested the 50 simple moving average here on Alpha Numerics. And why this is significant is this is usually an area of a bounce. If we take a look at prior cycles, you can see that the 50 held support back here early in the rally here of the initial bull market. If we go a little bit further back, to like prior cycles, we can see that the 50 has always kind of been that last stitch effort, that last support level that was able to hold us up until we finally reached our climax, broke down, got a bearish test under it. So the 50 is a really important level to pay attention to here on the daily. Now, inside of this channel, on top of the 50, you can see that we've reclaimed. If we go into the 4-hour time frame, we have this descending channel that has formed, and we fell out of the channel, and you can see the volume signature that has come on here, and we're retesting down at this level. Now, this is a higher low. If we can hold this higher low and come out of this area, we've almost formed a channel here going this way. We have an upwards channel holding support at this level. If we can continue this trend to the upside, it's looking good. Now, let's remove that for just a moment and take a look at some of the moving averages. We did get rejected right here at our monthly liquidity zone. So these are the two targets. These are the two areas to look out for. So right now we're working on getting above the monthly. The monthly is set at 115,000 and change, 115,714 here on the index chart, or no, this is the Big Perpetuals chart. And then with the weekly, that is at 117. So 115 and 117, those are going to be tricky areas for us to get above. However, we are over the 7. We are over the 30. This blue line, we're holding that as support right now. And the blue line has crossed above the red line. So the weekly average price is now higher than the monthly average price. So that's good. But we did get a rejection here at the 50. We do need to get on top of that and get on top of the green wave, our bullish bias green wave. We need to clear that area and hold it as support if we are to continue to the higher level. So all that to say, what do I think? What do I think is going to go? What do I think the next move for Bitcoin is? I think that this move was a spring. And I think that this is going to ultimately break out to the upside. I think that I'm still bullish on this move overall. We got our buy signals down here with the green diamonds. We're reclaiming the 7, reclaiming the 30. We just need to reclaim this 50. And I'm bullish. I think that this is just a choppy consolidation before we head to the next impulse. That next impulse, by the way, I believe is going to take us to a market cap that will be equal to Apple. Right now, we're above silver. We're above Google. We got a rejection at Amazon's market cap. I think the next area of resistance is going to be Apple. And that will bring Bitcoin to a price of approximately $150,000. So I believe that we're going to break out of this consolidation. I believe we're going to head up to higher prices. And I think that those higher prices are going to bring us into this range of $150,000 with an extended blow off target top going to something funny, like let's say 169,420 or something like that. So overall, things look good. But that hasn't trickled down into the altcoins just yet. Let's take a look at Bitcoin dominance. So Bitcoin dominance on the weekly. This is for those who are new to this chart, which I don't think many people are at this point, but I'll review it regardless. This is your one and only tool that you need for understanding when to invest in the altcoin market. You're probably sick of hearing influencers say altcoin season, it's altcoin season. Oh, I got to get into alts. And they've been wrong for years and years and years. We on the channel here, if you haven't already subscribed, definitely hit the subscribe button, because we've been very level-headed and very correct in our assumptions of how the altcoin season is going to play out. And since 2022, when the bull market kicked off, we have maintained the stance to stay out of altcoins. And we're finally getting a little bit of a change of character in this area here that is indicating that we are on the precipice of a full-blown altcoin season. I'll get into the smaller time frames in just a moment, but basically what you want to see is you want to see us come out of this channel and get a breakdown to the downside. That's going to be full-blown. It's going to be irrefutable. Everybody's going to be calling it. Everybody's going to feel the altcoin season. It's going to be glaringly obvious. We're trying to get ahead of the herd. We're trying to get ahead of dumb money on this one. So we are going out to some smaller time frames, and basically what we're looking for is the same thing here. So if we take a look at alphanumerics, the wave is red. This is what you want to see for your bias, your directional bias on Bitcoin. It has been green since basically this area right here at it flipped green at 95,000. And that's when we went bullish and really long. And the Bitcoin dominance has been green for the majority of the bull market, with a couple of these mini little altcoin seasons. But I'm thinking that this is going to be the big altcoin season. It is currently red. So we have the bear market bias working for us currently. Next, you'll notice this purple line here. This is the altcoin season starts line. This was after this big shakeout here in, or not shakeout, a shakeout in dominance, meaning that capital is flowing into alts. We put in this low, got a new high, and took out that low. So when you look at trend, what you have is a high, a low, a higher high, and we have our first lower low. So that's step one. The next thing that we need to identify is, are we going to put in a lower high? I do think that the alts are strong, and I don't think that we're going to get back above the midpoint of this. So I'm calling this the first lower high, but it will not confirm until we can take out this low. So until we can come back down, take out that low, and print a new lower low, we're kind of front running the alt season a little bit. Now, if you guys are interested in competing against Matt and I, we do have a little announcement to make here. Where is my notes here? We have officially started the competition. So there's $8,000 up for grabs. First prize currently is a $5,000 worth of tether. What you need to do to enter, this is for existing users and new users. So if this is your first time trading on BitGet, you qualify. If you're already a BitGet user, you also qualify. But basically what you do is you log into BitGet using the QR code that we have here. The QR code that we have here, I'll make it on the side here. Win $5,000 if you are the top performing account. So if you think that you know exactly which altcoins to buy, and you're going to be using spot or leverage, or maybe you don't think it's altcoin season and you think that just holding Bitcoin is going to outperform, whatever the case may be, you have 30 days and 21 hours to become the top ranking altcoin trader. in this group. It doesn't have to be altcoins. Like I said, you can trade Bitcoin as well. But we are giving away $5,000 to the top performing account. So if you want more details, feel free to hop into the Discord. Everything's 100% free. Everything that we do here is 100% free. So if you aren't already in the Discord, scan the QR code that's right above me right now. That'll get you into the Discord, or go to blackbox.pro, BLKBöX.pro, and that'll get you in the group today. All right, back into the TA. Let's take a look at some of the alts. So overall, just a recap, the portfolios are public. We do have links to this in the Discord if you're interested in checking out the performance of our portfolios. Both Matt and I created a $5,000 altcoin portfolio, and we're both down because we front run a little too much. But I think that this portfolio is going to look vastly different by the end of this trading competition. In about 3 months, it's going to look very, very different. So yeah, that's the trade we're going for. We believe that this is the beginning of the altcoin season, and yeah, we're gonna be way up, in my opinion. I think when things move, they move fast. So I know it doesn't feel like the altcoins are ready. I know it feels like Bitcoin's not ready either. There's a lot of people that still think that Bitcoin is topping. But for me, I've been trading this market for a while. I know how Bitcoin moves. I know how these altcoins move, and it doesn't take much at all. A couple weeks, and you can see vast differences to your portfolio. So Matt's coins down about $500, $325 on his portfolio. Mine is a little bit more degen, so it's going to be a lot more reflexive, about $500 down on that. But we will take a look at the individual assets because they're looking good. I'm going to start off with a degen play on Pengu. Yeah, we'll just get it out of the way. I don't really think that doing TA on a meme coin has a ton of value, but we've dropped down to the 30. We're consolidating on the 30. If we actually go down to the 4 hour, you might even see some green diamonds. No green diamonds, but bullish divergence. You can see that the lows are pretty much flat while the RSI is climbing. I think if we can get a breach of the 58 level here on the RSI, it'll begin to accelerate and get back to an upwards trending environment. The overall trend is up, right? The trend is your friend until it ends. And the trend is up. So we basically just need to take out this level at around 4.6 cents. Once we get it above, it'll be blue sky breakout from there. Next one for me is Sonic. Don't forget to spam your tickers in the chat, ladies and gentlemen, if you want me to take a look at some of the projects. So Sonic here on the daily. This one nobody's talking about, which I prefer. Especially when you're trying to build a portfolio and you're going to be holding for the long term. I don't want hype. So Pengu is kind of got hype. That's what put it on my radar, is everybody talking about it on Twitter. Sonic has good fundamentals. They had a lot of hype in the first wave of the altcoin, or first wave of the bull market. And then, it's lost all of that value. It's retraced entirely back down to here, but you have a nice bullish divergence where we have a low, we have an equal low, but we have an exaggerated low on the RSI and a higher low on the RSI. So I think this is a good play. Let's take a look at the volume real quick, see if there's any. Yeah, we got some nice volume signatures here. It's looking good. There's still trading activity on this one, which is what you need. As soon as the market flicks back to bullish, as soon as people start to FOMO back into positions, these things are going to move really quick. So not financial advice, but for me, this is a solid mid-term hold. What is a midterm hold? A midterm hold is something that you're going to hold for a while. You're not expecting results really quick, but you're trying to kind of get the bottom of the range. Play the cycles. All right, let's just briefly catch up with the chat here. Naramsin Lazar, what's up? Recognize is in the chat. Yes, we can do it. Yes, we can. I've been patiently waiting for a candle to explode. If you think XRP is going to zero, you'd also be wrong. Yeah, I think XRP is going to do exceedingly well during the bull market. My biases aside. Let's FOMO like a mofo. Set a stop loss, though. Not financial advice. I can see double top in Bitcoin dominance. Yep, very likely. Gravy in the chat. Cheers. ETH and chill. HODL XRP. Sounds like a strategy. A friend of mine has a bag of Raven. It's an OG real world asset coin. Promised him I'd ask you to review the chart. Any hope for it during this cycle? Let's take a look. Raven is an OG. So the thing is, like, I've said it before and I'll say it again. We'll do the negative stuff first. New cycle, new coins. Raven is from 2017. Like that thing's been around for a long time. Generally speaking, new cycle, new coins. But we'll take a look because you do get recoveries. Is this all the data we have? It's got to be a longer. Oh, that's right. Raven had a chain split. Oh, there it is. There it is. It's catching up now. Let's go to the weekly for Raven. Things are slowly loading. So yeah, the big move for Raven was back here. Oh, so yeah, there was a mainnet launch for Raven. So when Raven was originally around, back when I was trading in 2017, it was under a different ticker, it was under a different blockchain. But anyways, the 2021 bull market came. It did exceedingly well. You know, your buddy probably got in during the 2021 bull market, and it did over 1,000%, 1,500% from the area of the breakout. Generally speaking, now it's good news and bad news. Good news is I think Raven coin can at least 5x, maybe 10x. So that's the good news. Bad news is it's in a downtrend and macro trend, downtrend, cycle downtrend. I don't think it's going to take out the all-time highs. But even if it gets to half of what it was prior, is a considerable move. So that's the bad news. I think it'll do half as well as it did last cycle. And that's still a pretty good move from here. From here, that is 1,000%. So not bad. Not bad. Now, things need to align. We need to get into full-blown FOMO. The other thing that you need to be really cautious of is who's marketing Raven right now, because there's 10 million coins out there. This is something that's very different about this cycle. In the 2017 bull market, there was like 100 coins. If you wanted into this market, you picked a narrative, whether it was privacy, whether it was on-chain verification, whether it was medical records, whatever the blockchain application was, you picked a camp and the camp had one coin. So all of the liquidity went into like 100 coins. Then in the 2021, 2022 cycle, well, now it went into 10,000 coins. So you went from 100 coins to 10,000 coins. And it was great. Don't get me wrong. It was great, but you had a lot of copycats. You had a lot of the projects that were doing the same thing. And the liquidity was just a lot more spread out. This cycle, we have 10 million coins. It's batshit crazy. It's nothing. There are apps upon apps upon apps that can just spin up a coin. It does nothing, and people don't care that it does nothing. It's a very different, more degenerate market cycle this time around. So when considering that, who's doing marketing for Raven? How are you going to attract the liquidity when there's so many different places that it can go, and there's 10 million different shitcoins out there? How are you going to get over there? So with a coin like Raven, it's really important to make note of what is the project leaders doing. Are they doing partnerships? Are they, raising funds for some sort of marketing push? What is it that they're doing to try and gain attention to the market? I have seen Raven coin around. I believe there was Raven coin at Token 2049 in Dubai. So they are still around. They are still going to events. But yeah, if they don't have the marketing budget, they might not have the ability to put the pedal to the metal when it counts. ETH. Yeah, let's take a look at ETH. That's one of Matt's picks. ETH looks great. Honestly, it looks great. It looks great on the dollar pair. It looks even better on the Bitcoin pair. Let's go and take a look at ETH BTC. Yeah, we're flagging off of this low that nobody thought was going to get hit. I mean, this is 2020, this is 2019 lows. We came all the way down to 1.8 million sats. I was calling 3 million sats, and everybody was calling me a relentless bear when I was calling 3 million sats for the price of ETH. We exceeded that, went to 1.8 million sats. We've now reclaimed that 3 million sat level, which I think and have always thought that that's a really important level for ETH. We reclaimed it and we're consolidating above it. We're above the 7, we're above the 30, we're above the 50. It's looking good for ETH. I think with one good pump, it's going to get us above this downtrend, this downward sloping line of resistance. If we can clear this red downward sloping line of resistance, I'll make that really clear to see. If we can clear this red downward sloping line of resistance, ETH's going to go. The tailwinds for ETH. So, we talked about hype with Ravencoin. Who's the marketing agency for Ravencoin? What's unique about Ethereum is there's ETFs. And not only is there ETFs, there's now Ethereum treasury companies. So the same MicroStrategy play, the same Bitcoin play, those are now available with, shitcoins like ETH. So ETH has a lot going for it, in my opinion. I'm still in the Solana camp personally with my portfolio allocation, but I think that Matt has made a very strong and smart play with ETH because of the ability for it to end up in ETFs and Ethereum treasury companies. So that's ETH. ETH's looking good. Day/swing trade Bitcoin and ETH take profits DCA XRP. In the green again. Oh my, welcome to the green, sir. Spell, it's on the Sonic network. Okay, we can take a look at Spell. We also got a request here for STX. I don't want to skip anyone. Bitbo, I don't know. Bitbo, yeah, see what I mean? There's 10 million coins now. Bitbo. Hope check your spelling there, Stuff McStuffers. Let me know if that is a typo, because I'm not seeing Bitbo here. STX, let's take a look at stacks. Let's take a look at stacks. So stacks is part of the Bitcoin narrative, Bitcoin DeFi narrative, ordinals narrative, of which that narrative is dead. Currently it's dead. It's going to come back. I think ordinals are going to have a much bigger bull market than they had in phase 1 of the Bitcoin bull market. I think it's going to be probably 2 or 3 times as large. But as it stands right now, we're barely starting to move into plays like Ethereum. The market, there's an interesting thing happening right now in the market. And there's a resentment towards the space now. I don't know if you guys have noticed this as well, but in prior cycles, there was a lot more excitement from speculators to get in. And we can speculate on the reasons as to why that is. But I feel like crypto has really chewed up a lot of people and spat them out. So maybe they dabbled in crypto back when the stimmy jimmies were being issued by the government in the US, and people were just YOLOing into different alts and Doge and all that crap, and they weren't really thinking too much about what they were doing with their free money. But also Bitcoin was at $10,000, or sorry, Bitcoin was at $15,000. It was an achievable number. It was a number where people were like, yeah, I can work towards that goal. Then it got to 20, then it got to 30, and it eventually peaked out in the mid to high 60s. But it was a much more achievable thing. So I feel like now people just hate Bitcoin because it's too expensive. They're like, I will never get to one coin now. That's what they have in their mind. And so because they have that in their mind, when they hear about Bitcoin, which is usually a precursor to crypto and an altcoin conversation, they're very dismissive. It's just like, it's a scam. I'll never buy it, or it's not something that I'm ever going to be interested in now. I don't know if you guys have noticed that as well. Let me know in the chat if you kind of feel that, but there's like anger. Now, people also have a lot to be angry about because since COVID, shit's expensive, man. Like a lot of stuff has doubled in price since COVID. No joke. Things have doubled in price since COVID, whether they're eggs, other groceries, some regions' rents have doubled. Things have gotten really, really tight. So, when you bring up the conversation of investment, people are like, dude, I'm just trying to fucking put food on the table. Fuck you with your investment, you stupid crypto bro. So I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of resentment out there. But anyways, there's nothing like price to change someone's mind. And it's a really crypto bro thing to say. That's a really arrogant thing to say. But it's true. When these things start going up, and they will, because the demand is higher than supply. The supply is being eaten up by institutions. The supply is being eaten up by smart investors and whales. It's being eaten up. The demand isn't gone. There's still demand for these assets. Eventually, when the price goes up, it will begin to go up to the point at which it starts to convince the people that are around. And then you have the flywheel effect. You have, FOMO begets more FOMO, and you have higher pricing begetting more higher pricing. So the flywheels haven't taken effect yet. But when they do, all these people that are like pissed off, they're just going to FOMO back in. They're going to FOMO in. They're like, I could have bought it at this, but it's getting away from me now. It's done 20% in a week, and it's going to do 20% next week. And they will FOMO back in. So am I worried about STX? No. Full circle back to STX. This is looking good. From a technical point of view, as it stands right now, there's not a lot. The wave is red. Bad. We're below 7. Bad. We're below bad. We're below the 50. Bad. Everything from a technical point of view is bad, but I'm not worried about it overall. This is something that I would put under the category of a midterm hold. Is this going to be at a higher price in a few months? In my opinion, yes. Probably a lot higher in a few months. But as it stands right now, no hype. The narrative's dead, and you need to wait for this cycle of these narratives to get digested by the market and prices to rekindle all of these narratives that we lost to phase one of the bull market. So nothing for you right now, my friend. STX is a piece of shit, like everyone says it is right now. But once we're back above the dollar level, that'll quickly change. That will quickly change. Track again, it's kind of the same thing. I'm not going to dwell too much on it. It's having a nice day now. They just got their wallet onto the Apple App Store, so that's exciting. It's an up day, but ordinal narrative is not there. Ordinals are not there. It's not the time for ordinals. You're getting a little, you're getting little high liquidity days here and there, which tells me that the space is still alive, but these are not going anywhere anytime soon. Don't expect big gains from this for several months, in my opinion. You need to let those narratives take back hold. Spell. Let's take a look at Spell. Same thing. This one got, ooh. This is a VC rug pull right here, ladies and gentlemen. If you're ever wondering what a VC rug pull looks like, this is what it looks like. See, here's how it works for those who don't know. You got the funding rounds, right? So you got the pre-seed. All the investors are getting in pre-seed, right? Then you go to phase 2, right? This is the the A round, where the investors are raising to, help out these guys. They're investing more money in the A round. Then you do B round, right? Then you have a marketing push. You have super aggressive marketing. You make this project seem like it's going to be the biggest thing to hit the market. And then when it finally does hit the market, these people have done a 100x. What do you do when you get to 100x? You sell, and retail picks up the crumbs. This is a tale as old as time. This is how it works. So this is the seed rounds. This is how it goes in the background. By the time it hits the market, everybody that's in the coin, anybody that holds any sizable position that's in the coin, is already up 100x. So do be careful with new listings. I actually, a lot of people, it's this weird thing. So a lot of people get really stoked. They're like, oh, Binance has to list my shitcoin. Binance has to do this, or Coinbase is going to list that. Like, you don't want your coin to get listed on an exchange unless you're an insider that bought the seed round. Don't. Because when it gets listed, or unless you're ready to sell, if you're way up, if you're 100x up, and then it gets listed on Coinbase or gets listed on Binance, sell. It's done. You did it. You were one of the insiders. You did it. But yeah, these coin listings on new exchanges, they never work out. 9 times out of 10, this is what they look like. But that's in the past. That's in the past. How are we looking today? How are we looking right now? Not expecting much. Not expecting much. It's still quite volatile. The believers that got in at seed are still selling, So it basically needs to get above this level before it starts to take off again. So it's going to be real touch and go, real up and down until it can get above, geez, what is that? 1/10 of 1 penny, 2/10 of a penny. Degen shitcoin stuff. But you're down at you're down at the support range. If you want to buy here is as good a place as any. Just don't expect it to do anything anytime soon. You might be holding this for months where it does absolutely nothing, and it could go down. Like, you can lose 50%. If you're okay with that, if you're okay with holding this for months and months, and maybe you want to dollar cost average into some sort of a position in this, then this is kind of the area to do it. Just don't expect results right away. That's all I got to say. Feels like once DeFi gets talked about more, it will do well. Yep, 100%. It's all narratives. Crypto is all narratives. Coinbase chart looks a bit different, I think. It's not going to make that much of a difference, honestly. 6 one, half dozen of the other, All right. I think I'm going to round things off here by taking a look at Bitcoin. Still inside the range. We've reclaimed where we need to reclaim, where we've reclaimed the trading range. As long as we can maintain price above 113,000, 113,000, I think we're good. I also think that this daily candle that just started a few hours ago, that's going to print green. I think it's going to print green. It might dip back down and maybe retest around 114, but I think it's going to print green and may even test the middle of this downwards, this parallel channel, this downsloping parallel channel at 115.7, which is right at the monthly resistance point. If we can clear this monthly on this next day's candle, so if tomorrow's candle, or I guess this current candle, closes at any price above 115,714, then it's probably going to break out within a couple days, in my opinion. So that's kind of the price to look out for, in my opinion. Definitely check out the trading competition, ladies and gentlemen, for your chance to win 5,000 Tether. This is not credits to your account. This is literally 5,000 Tether sent to your account. All of the other bonuses, all of the other prizes, those are credits. So if you really want if you want to win the good stuff, you got to come in first. All you need to do is scan the QR code, join register your account. If you've never traded on BitGet, you also get sign-up bonuses. So keep that in mind. You can get up to $50,000 in sign-up bonuses with BitGet. But yeah, register your account, and then your P&L will be tracked. Currently, it's only showing volume. That's incorrect. We are going to be showing P&L. So the best performing portfolio at the end of the competition is going to win the $5,000. So that's it. That's all the time I have for today. If you guys enjoyed this content, please leave it a like. Don't forget to subscribe. Scan the QR code to get into the free Discord, and check out blackbox.pro, BLKBöX.pro. And we can't wait to welcome you in. Can't wait to say hi. And it's time to get bull run ready. If you aren't already in, we will see you in there. And until next time, please trade safe. It is jungle out there. Peace.